Did you know the Atlantic has spawned over 50 Category 5 hurricanes in recorded history? These are the most powerful storms on Earth, capable of wiping entire towns off the map. Today, we'll take a journey through time and revisit every single Category 5 hurricane ever recorded in the Atlantic, from 1924 all the way to 2025. Cuba Hurricane, 1924. The 1924 Cuba Hurricane was the first officially recorded Category 5 in the Atlantic. It struck Cuba, the Bahamas, and parts of Florida, killing about 90 people and causing widespread destruction across islands and coastal communities. San Felipe II Okeechobee, 1928. The 1928 San Felipe II Okeechobee hurricane devastated Puerto Rico, the Bahamas, and Florida, causing catastrophic flooding around Lake Okeechobee and roughly 4,000 deaths, making it one of the deadliest U.S. area storms of the early 20th century. Abaco Hurricane, 1932. The 1932 Abaco hurricane battered the Bahamas with extremely powerful winds and storm surge. It held Category 5 intensity for a full day, causing massive damage to islands and shipping. Camagüey Hurricane, 1932. In November 1932, the Camagüey hurricane struck Cuba, the Bahamas, and Bermuda, killing over 3,000 people and inflicting tens of millions in damage, making it one of the deadliest Caribbean storms on record. Cuba, Brownsville Hurricane, 1933. The 1933 Cuba, Brownsville hurricane ravaged Cuba before making landfall near Brownsville, Texas. Hundreds perished, and significant destruction occurred across the Yucatan and Gulf Coast. Tampico Hurricane, 1933. The 1933 Tampico hurricane struck the Yucatan and northeastern Mexico with severe storm surge and wind damage. Nearly 200 lives were lost, and the economic impacts were substantial for the region. Labor Day Hurricane, 1935. A powerful Category 5, the 1935 Labor Day hurricane obliterated communities like Isla Mirada in the Florida Keys, killing over 400 people, resulting in one of the greatest natural disaster death tolls in modern U.S. history. New England Hurricane, 1938. Also known as the Long Island Express, this storm made landfall with little warning, destroying coastal towns across Long Island and New England. Hundreds died, and economic losses were immense for the time. Great Atlantic Hurricane, 1944. The 1944 Great Atlantic Hurricane struck the U.S. Northeast and Atlantic Canada, causing extensive coastal destruction and hundreds of fatalities. It remains a significant benchmark storm from the World War II era. Carol, 1953. Hurricane Carol reached Category 5 intensity offshore before impacting New England and Bermuda. Losses were modest by today's standards, but the storm highlighted the vulnerability of the U.S. Northeast to intense hurricanes. Janet, 1955. In 1955, Hurricane Janet struck the Lesser Antilles and Yucatan as a Category 5, killing over 1,000 people and causing extensive destruction across the Caribbean and Central America. Esther, 1961. Hurricane Esther reached Category 5 intensity offshore of the eastern U.S. It caused damage along the East Coast and served as one of the early satellite-era storms studied for patterns and tracking. Hattie, 1961. Hurricane Hattie devastated Belize, then British Honduras, in October 1961 as a Category 5, destroying much of Belize City and killing hundreds. Its impacts prompted relocation of the capital inland. Inez, 1966. Hurricane Inez was long-lived and destructive, impacting the Caribbean, Mexico, and Florida in 1966. Hundreds died, and heavy damage occurred across multiple countries. Beulah, 1967. In 1967, Hurricane Beulah struck the Yucatan and northern Mexico, bringing deadly wind, rain, and surge. Though fatalities were lower than some others, damage was extensive in affected areas. Camille, 1969. A catastrophic Category 5 in the U.S. Gulf Coast, Hurricane Camille, 1969, unleashed extreme storm surge and flash flooding, killing hundreds and generating over $1 billion in damage at the time. Edith, 1971. Hurricane Edith reached Category 5 strength over the Caribbean, affecting islands and parts of Central America, causing dozens of deaths and severe, localized destruction. Anita, 1977. In 1977, Hurricane Anita intensified to Category 5 in the southwestern Gulf/Caribbean region, causing destructive winds and coastal damage before weakening over land. David, 1979. Hurricane David, 1979, struck the Caribbean and killed over 2,000 people, becoming one of the deadliest modern storms in the region, and caused widespread destruction across several islands and the Dominican Republic. Allen, 1980. Hurricane Allen in 1980 was among the most intense Atlantic hurricanes on record by wind speed. It traversed the Caribbean and Yucatan, causing widespread devastation and substantial fatalities. Gilbert, 1988. The massive Hurricane Gilbert, 1988, battered Jamaica and parts of Mexico as a Category 5, inflicting enormous agricultural, infrastructural losses and hundreds of deaths. Hugo, 1989, striking Caribbean islands and the U.S. East Coast, including the Carolinas. Hurricane Hugo caused widespread destruction and became one of the costliest storms of its era. Andrew, 1992. Hurricane Andrew made catastrophic landfall in South Florida at near Category 5 intensity, destroying neighborhoods and triggering massive insured losses. It reshaped U.S. building codes and disaster policy. Mitch, 1998. Hurricane Mitch in 1998 unleashed catastrophic rainfall and inland flooding in Central America, particularly Honduras and Nicaragua. With over 11,000 fatalities, it stands as one of the deadliest Atlantic storms on record. Isabel, 2003. Isabel, 2003, reached Category 5 at peak and later struck the U.S. mid-Atlantic, causing major storm surge, coastal flooding, and billions in damage in the eastern U.S. Ivan, 2004. Hurricane Ivan, 2004, was a powerful long-track storm that devastated parts of the Caribbean and the U.S. Gulf Coast. It caused widespread destruction and enormous economic losses across several countries. Emily, 2005. Emily reached Category 5 briefly in mid-2005 and brought heavy damage to the Windward Islands, Jamaica, and Mexico before weakening significantly before final landfall. Katrina, 2005. One of the deadliest and costliest Atlantic storms. Hurricane Katrina flooded New Orleans after levee failures. Over 1,300 people died, and damage exceeded $100 billion. Rita, 2005. Hurricane Rita intensified to Category 5 in the Gulf, striking the U.S. Gulf Coast and compounding the catastrophic losses of the 2005 season with additional fatalities and billions in damage. Wilma, 2005. Hurricane Wilma became one of the most intense Atlantic hurricanes ever recorded and impacted the Caribbean and Florida with huge wind and storm surge, becoming a major event of the 2005 season. Dean, 2007. In 2007, Hurricane Dean reached Category 5 in the Caribbean and struck Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula, causing major agricultural and infrastructural damage and widespread power outages. Felix, 2007. Hurricane Felix devastated parts of Nicaragua and Central America as a fast-moving Category 5, producing tragic fatalities and significant structural damage. Matthew, 2016. Hurricane Matthew became a powerful Category 5 east of the Caribbean. It later struck Haiti and the southeastern U.S., killing hundreds and causing widespread economic hardship and humanitarian crisis. Irma, 2017. Hurricane Irma carved a destructive path through the Caribbean and Florida. Extreme winds left massive destruction, and the storm became one of the costliest in modern times. Maria, 2017. Maria utterly devastated Puerto Rico in 2017, causing catastrophic infrastructure collapse, widespread humanitarian need, and a death toll later estimated in the thousands. Michael, 2018. Striking the Florida Panhandle as near Category 5, Michael caused catastrophic wind and storm surge damage and became one of the most destructive U.S. Gulf Coast storms. Dorian, 2019. Hurricane Dorian stalled over the Bahamas as an extremely powerful Category 5 for over 36 hours. It obliterated communities on Grand Bahama, resulting in major loss of life and prolonged recovery efforts. Lorenzo, 2019. Hurricane Lorenzo was an unusually Far East Category 5 near the Azores. Though it didn't cause catastrophic U.S. impacts, its intensity unusually far out in the Atlantic earned wide scientific interest. Ian, 2022. Hurricane Ian struck Cuba and southwestern Florida with catastrophic storm surge and flooding. It stands among the costliest U.S. hurricanes on record, with massive economic loss and over 160 casualties. Lee, 2023. Hurricane Lee reached Category 5 strength over the open Atlantic. It later affected Bermuda and Atlantic Canada with strong winds, but did not make a catastrophic landfall at peak intensity. Beryl, 2024. A rare July Category 5, Hurricane Beryl impacted the Caribbean and the Yucatan before heading toward Texas. Its rapid intensification in mid-Atlantic waters highlighted modern forecasting challenges. Milton, 2024. In late 2024, Hurricane Milton brought Category 5 intensity and heavy damage across the Yucatan, the Bahamas, and parts of Florida, resulting in tens of billions in economic losses. Erin, 2025. Hurricane Erin became a powerful Cape Verde-type Category 5 in August 2025. While its full impact is still under review, it affected regions near Cape Verde and contributed to broader North Atlantic storm activity. And that was the complete history of every Category 5 hurricane ever recorded in the Atlantic. These storms have reshaped coastlines, destroyed cities, and changed lives forever. Now I want to hear from you. Which hurricane do you remember the most? Drop your answer in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss our next deep dive into extreme weather.